All right, we're in Advanced Algebra 1. We're in Topic 9, Section 4. And what we learned in Section 3 was how to simplify square roots. And what we're going to learn in this section is how to solve equations using square roots. Okay, so up to this point, if I had to solve this equation from what we've learned so far, I would first set it equal to 0. So I would make it x squared minus 49 equals 0. And then I would factor. And this factors to x times x, 7 times 7, plus minus. And then I would set each factor equal to 0. X minus 7 equals 0. And then I would solve each one of these. And I would get negative 7 and positive 7. Well, they also want us to be able to just take the square root of both sides and solve. Okay, and here's the long story about that. I take the square root here and the square root here. Technically, the square root of x squared is the absolute value of x. Okay, and the square root of 49 is 7. And if we were to solve this equation, x would equal, remember this is a number's distance from 0, and there are two numbers that are 7 units from 0. They are 7 and negative 7. Sometimes you'll see it written as plus or minus 7, whatever. Generally what happens is we skip this middle step and we go right to this step or this one. And we forget why when we take the square root of both sides we get a plus or minus 7. But it is important to know where that came from. The reason we get that plus or minus 7 is because of what the square root is. Okay. So basically that's what we're doing in this section is using square roots to find that. So here I take the square root of both sides, and the square root of x is x, and the square root of negative 121 is not a real number. So we say this has no real solution. And that's it. Take the square root of both sides here, and we get x equals plus or minus 13. Or you can write positive 13, negative 13, whatever you want. Square root both sides on this one, because that's a negative 16 over there, has no real solution. Over here, now we would divide both sides by 7 first, and 112 divided by 7 is 16. And then we take the square root of both sides, and we get x equals plus or minus 4. Here we would divide both sides by negative 3. X squared equals 8. Take the square root of both sides. 8 is 2 times 2 times 2. X is plus or minus. 1, 2 comes out, 1 disappears, and it looks like there's 1 left. Okay? Here we would divide both sides by 5 first. X squared equals 25, and then we would take the square root of both sides. X is plus or minus 5. Let's see. Looks like here I need to multiply both sides by negative 2. If I multiply this by negative 2, multiply this by negative 2, this is going to cancel that fraction. I'll just have x squared equals 72. And 72 is 2 times 36, 2 times 18, 2 times 9, 3 times 3. So x is plus or minus. Looks like a 2 can come out and a 2 can disappear. A 3 can come out, a 3 can disappear, and I have a 2 left. 2 is left. So my answer, plus or minus 6 square root 2. Here I would add 19 to both sides and get negative 5x squared equals 144 plus 19 is 163. Divide by negative 5. And that's my stopping point. There's no real solution. Cell phone tower has a guy wire for support, and the length of the tower, the height of the tower, and the distance from the tower to where the guy wire is secured on the ground are the same distance. What is the height of the tower? So in other words, we have this tower and the guy wire is over here somewhere. And the height of the tower would be x. And the distance from the tower to where the guy wire is secured on the ground are the same distance. Height of the tower and the distance from the tower to where the guy wire is secured is the same distance. So I think I'm missing some information that was probably given. I don't see that I wrote it in here. I did not bring my book home with me, but I'm going to guess that they gave us the distance or the length of the guy wire. I'm going to guess that that's what they gave us. And so let's call that 1,024 feet. Okay. So then to find the height of the tower, I would take x squared plus x squared equals 1,024 squared. I made that a little large, didn't I? Let's see if we can small that down. Let's call it 20 meters. Okay, that's probably better. So 20 squared is 400. So I would add like terms here first and get 2x squared equals 400. And then I would divide both sides by 2 and get x squared is 200. And then I would take the square root of both sides. And I get x is 200 is 2 times 100, 2 times 50, 2 times 25, 5 times 5. It looks like a 2 can come out and a 5 can come out. And there's a 2 left. And so the height of the tower is 10 square root 2 meters tall. All right.